What's up, YouTube fam? How are you guys doing today? It is Clint Lund with London Mex, and today, guys, well, we're back at the shop garage, whatever. Oh, it feels so good to be back here, guys. It was a beautiful trip up to Utah, and I have only good things to say about the trip. It was an absolute blast. And, sorry, I wanted to change camera modes there. But I'm so glad to be back at home, at the shop garage, whatever, because, guys, we need to get cracking on the Kx500 conversion bike. I've been so excited the whole time I was gone in Utah. It's like all I could really think about was getting to work on this dang thing and start putting it together. And so, guys, just catch you up to speed real quick with kind of the life. What's going on? What are the plans? What are we doing? Let's get into this real quick and we'll get to building this thing. Everything's been going good. So a lot of you guys know I've been putting up, I put up a couple videos on the 325. I personally wasn't very happy with them. I thought it kind of left a lot to be desired. I definitely still want to do like a really good shakedown video with the 325 and put its feet to the fire. Thank you, Polysport Anna. I know you're probably watching. She hooked us up from Polysport with their new hammer handguards. I have these on my son's RM125, and these things are seriously strong, lightweight. They don't get in the way of your controls. They're really nice. And then after they saw this beautiful Huga pipe that we put on here, she said, don't you dare dent that thing. We're gonna send you some protection. So Polysport sent me over their Armadillo pipe guard. Thank you, Polysport, for always staying up and helping out the channel. I really appreciate you. And these clear plastics, still every time I look at this bike, I'm just like, you don't see other things like this, guys. This is seriously some cool stuff. One gripe is nothing on quality. It's your boy. Every time that you get this thing and you wash it, you have to make sure and get the stuff behind it too, because if you have dirt or mud behind it, you will see it right through the plastic. So it's like when I clean this thing, guys, fine tooth comb every single time, right? So our wonderful friends over at AHM that did the wonderful suspension for this, I'm actually sending it back down. Nothing that they did wrong. Something happened with the anodizing, the company that they send the anodizing to. Something in the treatment didn't stick right, and so the upper tubes a little brighter than the lower tubes. Treating me the same way he would treat any one of you guys. He said, you know what, no problem. Take them off, get them back down to us. We'll get them re-dyed. And this time, guys, we're gonna get the lowers done. I'm really excited about doing that. I wanted to do it the first time, but it wasn't in our time restraints. I wanted to get this bike launched. So we're gonna get the lower fork tubes done. Thing is going to look factory, absolute factory, but since Yamaha never made a 325 and they definitely never made a 2000, this is a 2000 yz450 that looked this good, well, you know your boy, he's gonna handle that. So on to the Kx500 slash yz500. So guys, gonna be putting some work in this thing today. I'm really excited about it. Like I said, I was thinking about it probably the whole time in Utah. It was a definite big goal of mine to, as soon as I get back, get this thing, get the engine mounted, get it welded in, and send, you know, either the frame off to get vapor honed, or it's possible your boy might even be getting a vapor hone machine here for the shop garage, whatever. Stay tuned for that. But more importantly, get this engine welded in so we can decide what we're going to do with the frame. Not sure if I'm going to powder coat it, Cerakote it, vapor hone it, what I'm going to do. Either way, it's going to look seriously bad. And same thing with the engine too. The engine, I definitely want to do some sort of like really sick coating on the engine. Not sure what color. I really like the bronze, the whole Bronze Age thing of two strokes. One of my favorite things to do on bikes. I also love copper. You guys know I'm kind of a sucker for copper. And of course, gonna be playing with some colors on this. Gonna need your guys' help on Instagram at LondonMix. Get involved. There's gonna be lots of posts, and as always, I lean to you guys. Whatever the majority votes is what we're gonna do. We're gonna make this thing seriously rad. So guys, let's get started on this thing. I already got started because I actually had to film this again because I lost my data transfer cord for my other camera. So you guys didn't know that. I'm just telling you that right now. But seriously, this is a repeat and you didn't even know. Either way, let's go. All right, so like I said, just going to start off by carefully, I mean carefully guys, I mean we don't want to do this 2 times, 3 times, we want to do it right the first time. Just these welds here, I need to carefully grind all these welds through, in which to just remove these lower engine mounts off the aluminum frame. Obviously we want to keep the frame untouched, unnicked if possible. If we do get into it a little bit, that's fine. I can fill it in with a little aluminum weld, smooth it over with a flap disc or something like that. I have extensively gone through the entire frame, looked at all the welds, made sure that this is going to be a good candidate for such a conversion, because when we put in a beastly motor like a Kx500, there's going to be some vibrations going on that the yz450 wasn't giving the frame, and since this is aluminum, it's going to be more rigid than a steel frame. So we have to kind of take into account like some strength issues. For instance, after we get all the mounts relocated, it has been told to me as something to be considered to get the frame re-annealed, which is a heat process, which you bring the aluminum back up to a temperature where it is soft, and then you cool it correctly and it is stronger. And that is something to consider when putting together this thing, because I've seen some conversions out there, and I'm sure you guys have too on Instagram or on YouTube or wherever, but I've seen some failures in welds, in which case the whole frame breaks apart, and that's NFG. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go through that. So like I said, also we need to severely clean up all this back here, but we need to take the measurement between the swing arm, this gap right here, because this is where the backside of the Kx500 engine will drop into. And then the other thing to take into fact is we need to make sure that the engine is going to sit in here good enough that the oil is not going to be leaning forward in the gearbox or back. It needs to stay as level as possible. Yes, a dirt bike does a lot of this and it shakes around, but it's just something also to keep in mind. So I'm going to be looking at the balance, the up and down, and also was something that was told to me by gosh, I can't remember his name exactly, but he's done a couple Kx500, they call him the Kx Guru or something like that, 500 Guru, as well as Adam Millar up in the BC. It's important because the forward and aft of these 500 engines they're quite torquey. So you want to have it positioned in the frame just right, where it's not going to make the bike wheelie, pull the front end out of ruts, and then at the same time you don't want it pulling it too far down where it's overloading the front end and it's making the rear float. And so there's some things that we got to take into mind. It's not just as easy as welding in an engine and then making it run. I wish it was. And then the other thing, like I was saying, we're going to have a chain that comes down here, down the chain block, and we need to make sure that the countershaft sprocket is aligned with this, so it's not deviated in or coming out this way. We want it nice and parallel with the original design. So guys, having said that, let's get started. All right, choose your weapon here. Let's see, not a jigsaw. We want the old Harbor Freight death wheel for sure. This is probably gonna be, I'm just looking the best for what we need. All right, all sources agree. So we'll use this. We will pair it up with the face shield, because oh dear God, if you've ever had one of these discs come apart in your face, bad day. Okay, I think it's off. Find out here soon. Contact. Nothing. Good. All right, ready to go. Get my high quality face shield, and Oh, I need this. As to not damage our GoPro, this little lens. Put that on. I know some of the clarity comes down a little bit, but I want to keep my lens safe. Contact! I forgot the safety gloves, but you guys should get a kick out of this. So, notice how the thumb's missing on the glove there? Well, being the vlogger that I am in Supercross, it needs my thumbprint to register, you know, to click video on, video off on my cell phone and stuff like that. So I amputated just the thumb portion, and so there, I mean, they still protect everything but the thumb. So if anything's gonna happen, the thumb's really gonna get it. Okay, before I lose a thumb, or just the right hand thumb, I can't get the cutting disc in between here without it just rattling and knocking around in here, so I gotta tilt this frame over a bit on my little MSR workbench here. Not sponsored, I just dig this thing. Oh, come on, baby. Just need to lean this bike over on here. Don't fall. Don't knock over lighting. Yeah, I think that's definitely gonna fall. I think. Not redneck at all. We got this. Much better, and OSHA agrees. So we're gonna be able to get to that a lot better now without chunking up our cutting disc to the point where we can no longer have a cutting disc on here. So let's go. Alright, I think I have enough of the weld separated where I can use just a little manipulation and get. She's rigid, boys. She's rigid. Huh. More grinding. We're getting somewhere. Yep. She just yielded. Aha. So, we successfully neutered the mount without getting in the frame. So, that's nice. This thing is invaluable to have this piece all ready to weld on. One more side. I think we have success right now. Yep, indeed. Yard sale. All right, so girls and gargoyles, now we have 2 good mounts I could just clean up, and these would be super easy to relocate. You can't even see. These are gonna be super easy to relocate. So, like, for instance, that's where one was. You know, we can slide it forward and move it back, whatever we have to do for the 500. I think what I saw though is it does need to come back just a blonde one to really match, but we'll get the lower end in here, start mocking things up, and find out where it needs to go. And we're gonna change out our death wheel from a death wheel to a not so death wheel. A little flapper disc, dressing wheel, or not dressing wheel, just flap disc. So now I can take these welds down and see if I chingered the frame at all. So I'm gonna get this cleaned up. Be right back. And all right, well, I'm getting to a point where now I could show some nudity here, but yeah, got into a little bit right here. No big deal. That's not deep. Like, I can easily, when we do remount, you know, the new weld might be able to overlap that, but either way, fill that in. I mean, very minuscule little nicks on this side. So all in all, I did pretty darn good. It's going to allow me now to set the motor in, draw the swing arm back a little bit, but set the motor in, find out approximately where we want our lower motor mounts to be. Then I can run a bolt through it, tie it down, and then when we go to get it welded in, he will just, you know, put little tack welds to hold the mounts in place, remove the motor. Bub's your uncle, it's located. Spraying a little Luma brightener on it, and all these little shavings around here are saying, hey, you want to see a chemical fire? Keep spraying. All right, I will. Get this thing all brightened up. Chemistry's rad. I should have a respirator on. All right, now with that cleaned up, I can see my malfeasance, if any. Nah, she looks good, boys. She looks good. Oh, we can take this off now. There. Hopefully you can see a little bit better. Yeah. This is gonna be pretty sweet. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Let's go. Alright, so now like I was saying, a little bit more prettied up. So obviously that's the old line where the weld was. So now I have the availability to move these mounts forward or aft, whatever direction I need for the 500 engine to fit. So yeah, pretty cool, huh? You know, it'll look clean. I'll weld it back in wherever it's going to be at. I remember, seriously, like when I dropped the thing in last time, like the motor mounts went there. The true motor mount was like right there. I mean, it was just a blonde one behind it. So we'll throw mounts on the floor and drop in the low end. But first, I need to get the suspension off because we need to send this over to AHM Factory Services, the guys who set up our lovely 325 with its nice, I mean, it's beautiful suspension, guys. I love the front forks. They work amazing. Rear shock, I just need to balance a little bit more because these were never designed to come on this bike. So need to lower the front end internally a little bit. It sat a little bit proud in the front, but other than that, guys, I love the suspension. Trial and error, but we're gonna get it fixed this time. So I want to get that lower end in here and check this out. Lower bolt. Seriously, like one of the main buying points of this whole chassis and setup is I've owned so many of these. Seriously, like so many. And the bragging point of this 06, as some of you geniuses that really know your Yamahas pointed out to me, and yeah, verifying the VIN later, it is an 06, but the guy who I bought it from did say it was an 08 or an 09, I can't remember now. Either way, he lied. No difference, because there was just subtle differences, but the main part is
We got the Triple S suspension, and any of you guys who owned or have owned or ridden these things, you know that these things handled awesomely. They're a little on the heavy side, and the titanium 5-valve engine was no good, so a lot of people did not like them because I mean, I'm not going to take anything, honestly, I'm not going to take anything away from this guy, because I don't know if you saw the first video, but dude, there's 226 hours on this engine. Don't know how many rebuilds were in that 226 hours, but I mean, come on. Any bike you get to last over 200 hours is a good bike. It is a good bike. But the damage was just significant enough for me to say, you know what? We're going to make a 500 out of this thing. It's going to be totally badass. So that's what we're going with. I'm just trying to get this thing off, the shock off, without the whole bike tipping over and hitting the floor. Don't want that to happen. There we go. There's the rear shock. Woohoo! A little bit dirty, a little bit dusty, but all there. So we're square. Alright, so all I want on the stand, I just want the engine. I actually don't want swing arm. I don't want anything on it. I want the front end on it, because like I said, I got to take the front end and rear end down to AHM, have them work their magic on this thing. So I do need to get this thing down to just a bare frame, so when we fit in our engine, I can have the swing arm with no rear wheel on it, which will make it a lot easier to move around when there's nothing attached. Yes, I know the axle is going in the wrong way. I did not put this bike together. I bought it like this. Like I said, if you guys didn't see the first video when I picked this thing up, definitely go watch it. And that obviously means you guys have not subscribed yet. So make sure that if you haven't subscribed, you just take a second. If you like dirt bikes, like riding dirt bikes, building dirt bikes, putting bikes together, making them go faster, making them cooler, it's a channel for you. Like, subscribe. We're gonna keep doing this. Get this front wheel off, because this whole front wheel is actually, we're gonna change out the whole thing. I haven't decided yet if I'm just gonna re-rim and spoke it and get the hubs, all the casting removed and powder coated, or just order a whole new wheel set from the Rocky Mountain gang, because I don't know if you guys can see it from here. She's got a good sized crack in the outer rim, and that's no good. We don't want that kind. We want the kind that is safe, can take some jumps. Yeah, because we like jumps. Alright, so basically I got whole thing all torn down just enough where I have the swing arm out, and when the engine's in, I could kind of sample measure my gap, make sure my countershaft sprocket is located. But next thing's next, get the 500 engine in here, get some lower bolts through the lower mounts, and do some test fitting. This is exciting, guys. I mean, we're married to it now. Oh, by the way, so obviously after my last video where I proposed putting this 500 inside of a brand new 2020 yz450, all of you guys said no, just keep with the plan, put this 500 inside the YZ. And then a lot of you guys, like almost like if you're in a chat together, you said, hey, put an RM250 two-stroke engine in that 2020 RMZ. So didn't take much consideration after that, because I know it's completely possible I can do that. So 500 goes in this. So now that I got this engine mounted in here where we can actually see what the heck's going on, I can show you guys what I was talking about. So see how the backs of the engine here is just too wide. See, with these spacers all the way in, we're probably looking at like 2 or 3 mil on this one, and even more, probably 10, 11 millimeters, maybe even 12. So quite a bit on this one. So obviously I don't have the shaft in here, but I do know where the sprocket is going to locate, and then so I can, line up my chain towards the countershaft sprocket, and that will give me an idea of where the engine needs to be centered, where I can, locate the mounts, so on and so forth. Another reason I thought this engine was such a great candidate for this frame is, I mean, these already have pretty high arches in the 4-strokes where the exhaust bridge comes in. So it's going to make it a lot easier to raise, you know, obviously we have to cut this and raise this cradle just a little bit. And doing that though is going to allow us to have the exhaust bridge come out of here where we can put pipe springs on the exhaust pipe and not have to worry about any interference. But yeah, I'm going to keep going and get this engine located so I can make some marks.
All right, boys and girls, well, that is where we are going to leave the Kx500, yz450. Still looking for a name for this thing, but it's done for now. So next video obviously is going to be taking this thing over to my buddy's house, where he's just a wonderfully established TIG welder. He used to build racing intake manifolds for like drag racers and funny cars, and he's just amazingly talented with TIG welding, and he's gonna do all the mounts for me, and you guys will be there for the whole video. A lot of custom work's gonna go on. Things are way above my skill craft, but thankfully I have my friend Brandon to help me with that. And but guys, like this, the head stays, the engine mounts, the radiator mods we got to make, all that stuff like that, it's all going to be done in TIG. It's going to look really good. It's going to be nice and custom, and it's going to look like it was done factory. So no corners are going to be cut. I'm going to get that suspension over to AHM, have them build that stuff up, and I'm just going to start my ordering, guys. I'm going to get all my order set up from Rocky Mountain, Polysport, the Wrench Rabbit, Vertex, All Balls, Aramoto. I mean, I can't thank all those guys enough. Phoenix Handlebars. We're going to get all the parts dialed in for this thing. An amazing exhaust pipe. And it's just going to be another one-of-a-kind build that you hopefully come to expect here at the Shop Garage, whatever. So anyways, guys, again, like, share, subscribe. Take the little bell. You know, that's a notification bell. You'll get a little post notification pop up on your phone or whatever device you're watching from. It'll tell you, hey, London X just posted a video, so go check it out. Anyways, guys, from the Shop Garage, whatever. This is Clint Lund with London X. I love every single one of you guys. I will talk to you guys very soon. That's a promise. I'm gonna go get this uploaded, and we'll be talking about it a lot on Instagram at London X. Make sure and get involved there. Also, support the sponsors that support the show. If you heard me mention their name, check them out. Give them a follow on Instagram. A lot of them offer discount codes for just being part of the YouTube family, part of the London X clan. So make sure you guys get involved with the sponsors. And as you know, a token of my appreciation, I'm going to keep plugging, making some awesome videos, awesome bikes for you guys. And yeah, keep making some awesome content. So anyways, guys, love ya. Talk to you guys soon as promised. Peace out.